Shabbat Shalom. Mahalal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Badash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, even the elders that came before them, that taught us his truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful like tabernacle of David. The elder Yahshua, I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Ezekiel 38 goes into the land of Magog, which is talking about Russia. The chief prince, Shar. Okay. Jump down to 7. Be thou prepared, Russia. Okay. Prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee. Who is it assembled unto him? Iran is Persia. Okay. Who we're looking at right now. And down here, and many people with thee, China falls under that. Okay. Here's Syria. Togarma. There's Turkey, right? Many people with thee. China, North Korea. All right, those allies. With that being said, I'm going to let this guy talk. This is what you need to know right now. This is Satek. I don't know what this is. Wow, 5 hours ago. Anyway, what he's about to say is what is going on, right? He keeps talking about what's going to happen on Monday. Today would be Thursday, so yeah. This is no Dougie Fresh here. Right, this is Colonel McGregor, but real quick, we qualify what he's about to say with what? Some old wars and rumors of war, right? Ruler against ruler. Let's get that real quick. This is Jeremiah 51:46. This is the alternative to wars and rumors of war. And I'm going to show you how. Jeremiah 51:46. What we do is we read the King James first. Unless your heart faint, and you fear for the rumor that will be heard in the, see that word rumor? That will be heard in the land. A rumor will come 1 year, and after that, in another year, a rumor will come, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Salakia, reading the King James. Unless your heart faint, and you fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land, a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that, in another year, shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Here's where we get some understanding. Right here. See this? Now let's read it. Jeremiah 51:46 in the NLT. But do not panic. Do not be afraid when you hear the first rumor. What does rumor mean? Rumor in the land, it means of approaching forces. That puts you into the military. See? A little more understanding. Of approaching forces, them troops, when you're about to be surrounded, unless your heart faint and you fear for the rumor, this is about rumor of what? Rumor of war. Of approaching forces. There's your rumors of war over here in Jeremiah. Anyway, let's hear some rumors of war from old Dougie Doug here. Take it.
So where are we going to go? We're going to hold talks on Thursday. The two representatives from the United States will include Mr. Kushner and Mr. Witkoff, both of whom are widely regarded as Israeli agents or assets. So the expectation is...
And that's important. The expectations is the small hats are going to draw them. The least of the flock is going to draw them out. Okay, so back to that Salakia. Take it again, Doug, from the top. I might have to stop it and set it up because what he's saying is what you see going on. See, this is General Douglas McGregor. Okay? He knows what their next move is. or what it should be, and he's watching these clowns walk right into ambushes and he's watching this. Salaki. Unstable leaders and confused rulers. He's watching that. He's like, wow. He's like, this is a debacle. So when he speaks, he's speaking from that perspective. He knows what they should be doing, but what he sees is them being controlled by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and that's how he's speaking. He's speaking to that, and he's right on point, saying what they should be doing and what they're not, because they're being controlled. Remember that. Take it down.
So where are we going to go? We're going to hold talks on Thursday. The two representatives from the United States will include Mr. Kushner and Mr. Witkoff, both of whom are widely regarded as Israeli agents or assets. So the expectation is that these talks will go nowhere. That means the war begins again when the ceasefire ends, and that is supposed to end sometime on Monday.
Monday the war
Now,
starts.
could it end earlier? Yes, depending upon what happens at sea, and that's another dimension of this complex problem. We are now trying to blockade the Persian Gulf and essentially the Iranian coast. It hasn't turned out to be as easy as everyone had hoped, because Iran has created this, I would say, 500 to 1,000 mile zone all the way around its borders that can be turned instantly into a killing zone because of persistent surveillance from outer space. In other words, space-based surveillance. Their links
and surveillance from outer space, as in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Salakia, I had to throw that in.
In other words, space-based surveillance. Their links from these Chinese and Russian satellites straight down to the strike systems that Iran has built and established on the ground. These strike systems can be any number of different kinds of cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and also unmanned systems, or what people call drones. Within that sort of 500 to 1,000 mile range, if you can be seen, you can be targeted. If you can be targeted, you can be killed. You can't move in and out of it with impunity, day or night. This is an enormous problem for the United States Armed Forces, because unless they are willing to risk war with China and Russia by attacking their satellites with missiles launched from aircraft at high altitude, which could be done, you're stuck. You can't defeat it. You can't jam it effectively. You can't stop it. So this means that before we go into this next round, we have to take this into account. And that means you have to move the fleet away from the danger area. And if you're planning on using ground forces, and we seem to be bringing more into the region, that seems to be on the agenda. That's going to have to be done very carefully. I think this brings us to what's next. And I think what's next is a massive air and missile campaign that begins sometime on Monday.
Sometime on Monday. Gotta listen to what's being said. Who would know what is going on? Doug knows what's going on. He's watching. He's on these shows. How many shows does he do a day? He's watching. He's taking notes. And the Most High got him, right, on all of our tongues. Bringing this up. Okay? What's going on with old
that is designed to destroy the Iranian state and cause the disintegration of the Iranian society.
Listen.
That's what you're talking about. You're not talking about we want to get the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps.
Now listen to what he's going to say. Then he's going to get prophetic and he's going to say, and it's not going to work. Watch.
We want to destroy the leadership. We want to make life tough on the population. No, we want to destroy Iran. This is catastrophic in my view because it won't work. It's not going to work because many of the losses that the Iranians have sustained, they've made good on. It's not just the United States and its armed forces that are replenishing, rearming, refurbishing, and preparing for the next round.
Now he's about preparing for the next round. He's going to go into Ezekiel 38.
Iranians have done the same thing. And the Chinese have brought in additional missiles and radars and equipment they need.
You said the
Preparing for the next round. The Iranians have done the same thing. And the Chinese have brought in additional missiles and radars and equipment they need. The Russians have shown up with lots of humanitarian aid, but they've also shown up with other technologies that are essential for the success of an integrated air defense.
Let's quickly get that. Let's quickly go back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 38 and 7. This is talking about the land of Magog, which is talking about Russia, the chief prince. Get ready, Russia. Prepare yourself, Russia. You and all your company that are gathered around you. That's Iran and many nations with you. China. They're all on the same team. You will be their guard. Your company, we went into this the other day, how they're joined together, right? Hordes around you, armies around you mobilized. Keep. What does it mean, keep? It means they now belong to you. Okay? All your hosts, all your armies. See, that's possessive. And it keeps making that. You and all your company, they now belong to you. Thyself, thou, and all the company that are assembled unto thee, all your companies, your contending, companies that are assembled, hordes, assembly that is mobilized, your whole assembly, all your, all thy possessive. See, it's making it prepare. Yea, prepare thyself, you and all assembled around you, troops ready, battalions that have gathered, companies assembled. We went through this the other day. It got real good, as I recall. Convocation convoked. What does that mean? Thy convocation convoked together to thee. Tell me what that means. Convoked together to thee and to be them for watching. Convoked together to thee. Tell me what that means. That has been assembled to you. Mobilized for you, but in my service. I recall it getting really good anyway.
There is actually the very real possibility that this time around, the air defense network will work infinitely better than it has in the past. That is for Iran.
Because Russia will be right there working it. China will be right. The things that we brought, we're going to have our people there working them. Right.
How many missiles do they have left? I've seen different estimates. One is 45 to 50,000 unmanned systems or drones that can be launched from anywhere in Iran against targets within the range that I mentioned to you before. They are intact. They're ready.
When they say, oh, Russia's sending weapon systems, what are they sending with those weapon systems? Well, along with the system, we have system operators. What does that mean? That means what we just explained right here. They're all part of Russia. See? That means they're already fighting together. When Russia is sending in weapons, when China is sending in weapons, When America sends weapons to Zelensky, are they not sending the battery, the people that work those weapons too? You got to wake up and understand what the hell is going on. All right, means they're already fighting together.
And they can actually manufacture more underground. Then you have missiles, and we think somewhere between 15 and 20,000 ballistic missiles and cruise missiles remain. All of these, once again, can reach any targets inside those areas.
Iran got all the missiles they need as far as. Now they need some hypersonics. They might receive some of them. And when they do, who's going to shoot those? They're not going to send a bunch of hypersonics that cost all that money and just send them to somebody that don't know how to shoot them. No, they're going to send their best technicians that know exactly how to guide that thing. All right? That's what they're going to do. Not going to hand them $1 million weapon so that they can shoot it and miss. It's not what they're over there doing.
And then there is now an air defense network that didn't work very well until nearly the end of the last air and missile
until they got the right people in place. Right?
Campaign. And now I think will work a little bit better, with the result that we will be unable to penetrate the airspace everywhere over Iran with impunity. It's going to be tougher. This place is a huge.
It's going to be tougher now that they got them S4s in place. Understand? And who's working them S4s? Whoever bought them from the Americans, or whoever manufactured them and knows how to shoot them and guide them.
Premium on the weapons you use. You want joint air to surface missiles, JASSMs. We expended 1,000 of them during the first air and missile campaign. I don't know how many more we have to shoot. Then we have, of course, the PAC-3 missile, the theater high altitude missiles. These are the ones that are designed to shoot down incoming missiles. No doubt we have shipped whatever we can afford to the Israelis.
Do you think whatever we shipped to the Israelis, they're shooting or we're shooting? Don't be stupid. What does that mean? That means World War III been going on. Okay? What does it mean that the North Koreans are fighting with Russia on the front out there? It's called World War III. Oh, they're just getting some some early trend for what? World War III? They're allies.
To try and do a better job of protecting Israel at this point. I don't think we are going to be able to replace all of the radar.
Why is America over there fighting this holy war for Israel? Because it's World War III and they're allies. That's where it's going. You better wake the hell up and call it what it is now.
Many of those radars, particularly the THAAD radars, theater high altitude air defense radars, were 500 million a pop. We don't have a warehouse full of those things.
Here's what he said. We don't have no ammunition, okay? And people in America don't understand that they're in this war right now. You're in it. You're not going to understand you're in it until the Northern Army gets sent over there, which is very soon, with no ammo. So they're going to send people over there as cannon fodder because there ain't no ammo. They're going to do that for a while until a bunch of people die, and then they're going to get to the nukes. And it's crazy. But people don't think that we're in this war. Oh, yeah, as long as we're over here, they don't send our kids. Well, sending other kids is coming up. Right? How do we know? It's all in there. We've been saying this.
I think our ability to provide early warning effectively across the region is not going to be very good. And that, of course, is a problem because if you don't know it's coming until you're, say, a minute away from the impact or 2 minutes away, you need to get out of wherever you are and run like hell to find a shelter. That's going to be tough, and that's going to make it much harder for operations. So that's kind of the balance of where we are. Now, we do have more ground troops coming, and I suppose there will be an attempt to see some islands in the Persian Gulf. That's going to be very tough, because how do you get close enough to these islands without being detected? And where
far away from the northern NORTHER northern THERN. Joel 2 and 20. Just touch on this quickly, because here's what's going to happen to the Northern Army. Their stink is going to come up. Okay. Joel 2 and 20. But I will remove far off from you the Northern Army, that's America, and will drive them into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. All right. So yes, that's in the Middle East. All right. Let's get this real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and close. Let's go to 16 here. A quick way. Oh, second is where we at? 16 and 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husband. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars, right, shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So that's what we got right now. Okay. Here they are leaving. Okay. In the wars. They're getting sent over there. That's how we know what is about to happen. I will remove far off. That's the Most High saying, I'm going to send America into this war in great number. And here they are. Here's what's going to befall. It says, their stink shall come up. The stench shall rise, right? And here's what happened. Here's the, they're over here crying about it, 33. Virgins shall mourn, they're crying, having no bridegroom. Why? In the wars, they got destroyed. They had nothing to eat. They got stranded over there. See? It's not going to go well. Not going to go well, Brev. Okay, so.
you go, from what would you launch? And I think we've seen evidence right now that both the United Arab Emirates and Kuwait are areas from which we will try to launch these missiles. Now, in the meantime, the Crown Prince from the United Arab Emirates is being in Beijing, and I assume that he's talking to the Chinese, asking them to bring some influence to bear on Iran to not utterly destroy the UAE. But the problem is, as long as the UAE continues to make their facilities available to us, that's probable. And this, I guess, brings us to the real problem. We are going to try to, quote unquote, bomb Iran into the Stone Age. Iran has made very clear that if you do that, they are going to counter by destroying all the installations for oil infrastructure and refining all up and down the coast. If we hit their salination plants, which I think is probably going to happen, there are salination plants, roughly 50, up and down the Gulf Coast on the west. They will be hit. If they strike Al Jabal, one of the biggest ports in Saudi Arabia, where you also have both a desalination plant as well as major oil infrastructure, that could be catastrophic for Saudi Arabia. And then, of course, you have the pipeline. And I've actually driven the pipeline in Saudi Arabia. I know exactly where it is. And we moved along this pipeline before we deployed north to attack into Iraq. And one of the things that you see, it's very vulnerable. It's very obvious. You can't camouflage it. You can't hide it. It's not underground. It would not take much to stop that. In which case, Yenbo and Jeddah and other ports on the Red Sea that might otherwise be places where you could upload oil won't make much difference. And then, of course, we have to mention the Houthis. And we have to assume that they will join the fight.
Which they will, and they will win. Touch on that real quick and I'm close. Then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and they shall turn themselves. That's the Houthi in them coming back in. We all gonna work together. 2 Ezra 15:31, and then shall the dragons of Arabia, the Arab nations, see, Arab nations, with the Iranians, the Aryans, Carmanians, Iran, Aryan, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand. So that is when they're winning, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. And these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence to their power, and shall flee. So here we got them running. And, we already know the outcome. So basically with that, what you talking about, Dan?
And that means that we will not be able to get into or out of the Red Sea without action, and the Suez Canal will be a problem. And we're back to the issue from the very beginning, which is who is going to underwrite commercial shipping through the region? Nobody.
With that, we pray that the elect ratifies your brothers and sisters. Shabbat shalom.